Now, just on a side note, I remember the comedian Adam Hills. He used to do a little segment that's talking about naming your children after what you'd like them to achieve, and so he wanted to name his son opening batsman. And now you've been out there. You've achieved something that most Aussies only dream of. You've captained Australia in an Ashes side. You've been the opening batsman for Australia. Tell us a bit. What is that like?
Oh, well, when you first make it, it's a bit daunting, to be totally honest. I played my first 2 Test matches against the West Indian side of the 80s in January of 1989, and I think it was Marshall, Ambrose, Patrick Patterson,
Ambrose,
Courtney Walsh.
Yeah.
So I played my first Test.
And you're facing the new ball against them.
Yeah. And I must admit I was very nervous. I didn't sleep too much the first couple of times. Because you don't really know if you're going to be good enough, I suppose. You're selected, you feel you've done enough, but then comes the realisation that you actually got to pit your skills against other players, and that's when you only then do you really find out if you're going to be able to cut the mustard.
Yeah,
it's quite a nerve-wracking experience.
It must be an overwhelming feeling. So last year I was lucky enough to be in London. I went to Lords. I had a look, did the tour, and I remember walking through the long room, and I was thinking to myself, what would that feel like to walk through there, going out to bat? So it must be. I don't know, like you said, a lot of pressure, and but yeah, what was it like when you were at Lords and walking out through that historic room?
Well, once again, it can be a daunting experience, and your initial reaction is, yes, you're nervous, you're not sure you quite belong, but it goes back to the point I was making a moment ago about remembering that you're playing a game of cricket. And when I walked through Lords for the first time, I remember saying to myself, wow, how good is this? This is something that I didn't think I would ever achieve. And then you've got to tell yourself that this is a chance to enjoy the moment, to remember that you're just playing a game of cricket, not going to war.
Yeah.
So get out there and enjoy it, because you might only get it once, but then again, if you're lucky enough, like I was, you get to experience it a number of times. But remember just to enjoy the moment, and that's the key, I think, to sport.
Tubby, if we can just skip away from the Ashes very quickly, of course, a monumental moment in cricket history this weekend with Sachin Tendulkar finishing his incredible career. You, of course, played against him many times and probably spent a lot of time witnessing some of his best work, although that wouldn't have pleased you too much. Just a few quick words on, if you can, summing up his career and his legacy, I suppose.
Obviously, probably the greatest batsman of the modern era anyway.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to play with and against some greats. And Ricky Ponting comes into that calculation as well. Brian Lara is there or thereabouts as probably the three, along with Tendulkar, probably the 3 best players that I played with or against.
Yeah, right.
I find it actually almost hard to believe that Sachin was only playing 2 days ago, because I myself I've been retired for nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
And I played against
That's
Sachin
staggering.
way back in about, I think it was 1991 or something like that. So it's an amazing effort to play that long and play at the standard that he has played at, and to maintain, I suppose, the desire to want to keep going back and playing again. Like 200 Test matches, that's 1,000 days of scheduled Test cricket.
Yeah.
That's over
incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
It's about 3 years of your life every day playing Test cricket.
That's it is crazy.
I find that quite amazing. I think I look back. I think I played 104 Tests, and I can't believe I played that many. He played nearly twice as many.
Right.
It's
incredible.
Amazing person, amazing career. Well, anyway, so thanks for your thoughts on Tendulkar and for letting us know about the Ashes. But before you do go, we do have something we'd like to ask you, Tubby, if you don't mind. Jeff and I have over the last Ashes series, we got one of those little talking boon dolls. You remember those from a couple of years ago? And we had them in the studio, and we played out a few of the quotes that he said, and we're trying to interpret what he was saying to see if his wise words would foretell what would happen in that series. We were convinced that they contained some sort of hidden message, but we didn't have much luck with it. But since you're with us tonight and you've actually played with David Boon, would you mind listening to a couple of these quotes and seeing what you think they mean?
Right, I will. I'll give it my best shot.
Okay, rightio. Well, this is one of the first ones. This is we're hoping we're going to find out what's going to happen in this Ashes series from what Booney says here. So let's have a listen to this.
We'll have those Ashes back now, thanks.
We'll have those Ashes. Does that mean we're going to take them back this summer, do you think?
Well, I don't think that's Booney because I can understand what he says. Definitely not Booney. Yeah, but something like that. And let's hope he's right, eh?
Okay, right. Here's the other one. I don't know what this means.
Take that, Your Majesty.
Now, and I know you all got to meet the Queen when you went over to England, but what's
Was
he
that a
trying
quote?
to say there?
Is that what he said?
Take that, Your Majesty.
Yeah, as I said, it doesn't at all sound like David. It's much more of a mumble with Booney, especially when he's got that big moustache on that top.
Oh,
lip.
yes. Yeah.
Righto. Well, the final one. I think this does sound like David Boone. Have a listen to what he says in this one.
Booney wants a bee. Booney wants a bee. Booney wants a
Booney.
bee.
Yeah.
Booney wants a bee.
And he just
Quite
doesn't
demanding
stop.
there.
Wait, I think it's broken. I think it's constantly going.
All right,
We have to turn that off.
right, okay. Righto.
But, and of course, Tubby, you are a part of the Channel 9 commentary team, and you've got a big summer of cricket coming up. Is there anything new, any new innovations coming out from the 9 team this year?
Well, we've got quite a few new things. We've got we've got a bit of model of our tablet or of our desk that we had last year, which will be up on display.
Lovely.
So we've got this lovely touch screen that we can move things around and analyse players and what have you. So we had a bit of a look at that last week. So and
sounds like great fun.
we're also going on air. I think half an hour earlier this year. We're going on air about an hour before the Test match to have a look at the previous day's play before we get into our pre-show, which is half hour before the start of play. So more analysis on the game, and then therefore a few more people around. I think you'll see Mike Hussey at various times.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent. Yeah.
Probably Glenn McGrath.
Great.
So I think the people who watch and enjoy the cricket like I do will see some new faces and a few new toys.
So it's all cricket all summer, which I think
Lovely.
people will love. But there's no word of a talking doll coming out for you, is there? Not this summer.
I certainly hope not. No.
No?
Not
Well,
at all.
we've been sort of tinkering around here. We thought we could do up a Goodnight Gladesville version of a Tubby doll.
Oh dear. I had nothing to do with this, Tubby. This is all Jeff and
I don't know.
Daddy
Oh,
here.
he's trying to get out of it. But so we did try that, but and it's come up pretty well, I have to say.
Yeah, it looks quite realistic, but
The only thing is, when we do pull the string and the words come out, all we can make it say is this. Can you tell us what he's trying to say with this?
No wonder Fujitsu is Australia's favourite air.
That's definitely me. That.
Very good. All right.
we
Well,
think it'll be a hit for the summer. I think it'll
definitely.
go well.
I certainly hope so. We need this rain to go away. We need more hot weather
That's
so we can
exactly
sell more.
right.
I've interpreted as meaning Australia with a new air of skill and professionalism are going to take back the Ashes this season. I think that's what's going to happen.
That sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, Michael, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. And all the best for the commentary throughout the summer over on Channel 9.
Thanks, boys.
And how are the vocal cords? You've been practicing and in the bathroom, in the shower, getting everything ready for this season?
I've thought about doing some singing, but my wife hits me over the head. So, they're all ready to go. And as I said, I'm looking forward to Thursday, which should be. I'm really hoping it's going to be a nice, close, and well fought Ashes series.
Fantastic. So do we. It sounds like it's going to be good.
Well, thanks so much, Mark, and all the best for the summer.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you very much for your time.
There you go. How about that, Mark Taylor on our little show here. Great thrill.
What a privilege.
Yeah, it was
Very good.
fantastic.
Thank you, Yachty, for bringing Mark into the Van Voelkes vault.
Oh, well, anyone's welcome in here. There's no real restrictions. This isn't an exclusive nightclub. But yeah, it's what an insight to talk to a man who's been there, and particularly in the current stage that we're in, where we really are battling for a bit of success. Here's a man who was part of so much of it, and you can just tell how positive he is, despite the recent results that weren't great. And hopefully Australia, the current team, can emulate some of that positivity, and we know Michael Clarke's a very positive captain, so if we can take that out in a mental capacity, hopefully we can produce it in terms of runs and wickets.
Well, he is hoping anyway.
Yeah,
so-
it is. Yeah. And
Yachty-
it all starts on Thursday.
It all starts on
First test
Thursday.
in
Another
Brisbane.
another summer of cricket. So, Yachty, thank you so much for coming in again.
No worries,
on the
boys.
show.
Absolute pleasure.
Time to
Wonderful
shut the
to
vault
have
for
you.
another
there
week.
It goes. Please thank Mr. Yachty Van Voelkes.